come in during business hours.
Do you know that often, like, can the constituent come in and make an appointment
Oh,
for
yeah.
like a 30-minute hour sit down or something like that?
Absolutely. Typically not an hour because my schedule's crunched, but at least, 30 minutes.
So the staffer said that I'd be able to speak with the Congresswoman next.
Mail or whatever. So if there's ever anything that you have an issue or problem with, just contact the office and we'll get back to you. We also have caseworkers in the office who deal with federal agencies if you have issues with like VA or
I just did one down the road.
We went to high school together.
I'm urging her to take her name off as co-sponsor for the Equality Act. I'm here speaking on behalf of other constituents here in the 38th Congressional District. We had one parent contact our main office in Waltham concerned about the sex ed curriculum being stripped. Miss Sanchez, thank you very much. So, wonderful. First of all, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
So my name is Arthur.
Nice to meet you, Arthur.
I'm the organization director for Mass Resistance. We're the international pro-family group. One of your constituents contacted our office, very concerned about a number of issues in Cerritos, but I want to speak to federal matters because that's your jurisdiction. This Equality Act is extremely disturbing to us. This is a bill that turns behaviors into rights, and that's a violation of natural law. If you go to the Declaration of Independence, even the constitutional framework. I know friends who used to be homosexual and no longer are. There are men and women who transitioned from male to female or tried to. Biologically, it's not possible. I've even spoken with people who claim to be transgender, and they recognize that as a male, they can never be a female. I spoke with another gentleman here. Transgenderism, strictly speaking, it is a mental disorder. It's not a civil right. People cannot switch their gender like flipping a switch. I don't mean to be facetious. Men and women who struggle with these issues need help. I don't believe in imprisoning people who struggle with these matters. This bill, however, is not going to protect anybody's rights. It will undermine those rights. I've spoken with black pastors in Maryland, in Texas, in Nevada. They are extremely alarmed. This is gutting the Civil Rights Act of '64, not enhancing it. You're going to see churches forced to compromise their beliefs or shut down. Go ahead, ma'am. I know I've spoken at length. Tell me why you're supporting it. Let's start there.
So the Equality Act seeks to put on footing LGBT folks for basic civil rights. So in many states in this country, for example, you can be fired simply on the basis of being gay or lesbian.
Okay.
All this bill seeks to do is bring them with parity, and there are religious exemptions built into this bill so that religious institutions or organizations...
May I respond?
Well, she's not finished.
Okay, so you're an adult. Excuse me. She's an adult, and I respect you. Go ahead and finish then. I thought you were.
No, I will just say, and I respect everybody brings different perspectives.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy to listen to them. But I really agree. I really agree strongly with the Equality Act.
So, ma'am, I do have to interject. Religious exemptions are not defending people's liberties anymore. People are disregarding the First Amendment. But the fundamental matter is, people are not born gay. There's no genetic evidence for this. People are born black or born Hispanic. They shouldn't be discriminated for an immutable characteristic, but these are mutable. Furthermore, ma'am, please,
opinion?
no, it's not an opinion, it's a fact. Furthermore, ma'am, we have men, biological men, are now competing with women in collegial sports. Women who've trained their entire lives to be professional athletes, and they're getting blown out by men pretending to be women. This bill will protect that. It's anti-woman. It's anti-life. It promotes destructive behaviors. Ma'am, it is not genetic. It is not scientific. I did not interrupt you, so please do not interrupt me. You have been very respectful. I'm urging you. I have friends who are no longer gay. This bill will ban reparative therapy, which saves lives.
I respect your opinion. I don't happen to share it. We're going to have to agree to disagree, unfortunately. But I do appreciate you taking the time and coming to talk to me about that. And I can tell you're passionate about your position. But it's something, as a legislator, I have to look at
Okay.
the overall good of my constituents, and I believe that this bill is.
Is it good for men to compete against women and ruin collegial sports?
I think probably that
It's
example
not.
is a very.
It's true.
Very rare example.
No, it's a growing example, ma'am. I have friends of mine in Connecticut. They're going to be talking to their legislators about this, ma'am. This is destructive.
Congresswoman, I am glad you are supporting this.
Why?
Even though at
You're
my
okay
church,
with men competing with
interrupting
women?
me. It's
You
my
interrupted
turn.
me, ma'am. You interrupted me, so I'm allowed to
So now
speak.
it's my turn to let you know that I support your.
She already spoke with you, but now you're interrupting
And
me.
I think that this is a good thing because it does indeed protect their rights in business and in society. Even though I may disagree with what they are doing, and I think that it is a sin, I do believe that under
So
the
you recognize that
Constitution-
people aren't born that way?
Under the
Okay.
Constitution, they have the right to be protected.
No, they
to
don't.
Inherit.
It's
They
not an
inherit
identity, ma'am.
everything. They have the right to
LGBT is not an identity, ma'am. People, I just gave you an example. People got out of the lifestyle. And you talked over me and it wasn't okay either. I forgive you.
I don't
Ma'am,
want- I don't-
please,
I don't-
on behalf of your daughters, the children, our communities,
Sir, you've expressed your opinion, and I've listened to
we've
it,
even documented
and I
it. The
respect
Center
your
for
opinion,
Disease Control, ma'am,
but it is
has
your
announced that
opinion,
these
and I don't
behaviors are
believe that
destructive.
some of your
Don't
opinions
turn
are
destructive
based on
behaviors
fact.
into a civil
So I'm
right.
going to say thank you for
Ma'am,
coming, and I'm going
do
to
the
move
right
on.
thing. Take your name off as co-sponsor. Take your name off as co-sponsor. Do what's right for our culture. Do what's right for our community. So you're okay with men competing with women? Really? Now that was really interesting. That woman recognizes that LGBT behaviors are a sin, but at the same time she wants to protect it as a right. This is the kind of madness that we're trying to deal with.